Well, for me, it's not that I hate my opponent, but it's a competition, and who doesn't want to win a competition? But when I tell my parents that I wanted to start at boxing, they told me no because they thought the sport
Right.
was dangerous. Anything you choose to do in this life, you had to have a certain level of dedication and consistency in order to make it far in this life.
Yo, Jeremiah, how are you doing, man?
I'm good on you.
I'm fantastic. Fantastic to finally get this interview down, finally here with you. And I want to, I've met you already, but I still want to know a little bit more about you as a person so that not only I can learn about you, but my audience can also be inspired by your amazing story.
Yes, man.
For sure. For sure. So just in general, tell the people a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, again, my name is Jeremiah Thomas, 80 kgs light heavyweight boxer for Trinidad and Tobago. Um, a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm a boxer. Also, I work part time, so boxing and working as well.
Wow. That must be difficult, man.
Uh, yes, as a full time athlete, working and trying to be a full time athlete is tough. I wouldn't lie, but at the same time, you have to make it work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell my audience how you even got into boxing to begin with, though.
Well, the super heavyweight boxer for Trinidad and Tobago, Nigel Paul, he had make it to Olympics, and I was watching on television at the time, and I told myself that I could do it too, and
Right.
from ever since then, from 15 or 16, the journey continues, man.
I see. I see. So I see you were inspired by somebody from your country, so inspired by somebody who was doing something that you wanted to do, and then you got into it. But I know it's not,
Mhm.
it could not have been that simple, just seeing somebody doing something and copying them. So tell me about the journey. Take me behind
Sure.
the scenes. How did you actually, get into the ring, actually become a boxer?
Well, at first, like I say, I got inspiration from Nigel Paul, and when I actually started talking to him about it, joining, I was still going to school at the time. And when I tell my parents that I wanted to start at boxing, they told me no because they thought the sport
Right.
was dangerous. And when you have a loving mother who cares about you, she wouldn't want to see she child get
Right.
hurt or anything like that. And I started doing it behind the back, like hiding and doing it.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I had turned 18, I had come back and tell them, well, I was boxing for so long. And I was a little bit disappointed at the time because I was hiding and doing it. But, from all the success showing them from since then to now, they finally got a little bit comfortable with it to allow me to actually do the sport. And from since then, the support was great.
Beautiful, beautiful. So outside of I guess the fear of your parents, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your journey so far?
Well, at first, I would say in the process, making it to the national team was one of the hardest things because I've been boxing for 8 years, and only 2 years ago I had made it to the national team. You know,
Wow.
always trying for every year. Let's have national championships where you could try and make the national team. You had to win gold first, and then win gold at the Caribbean in order to be representing Trinidad and Tobago. So every
Right.
time I try to make it, I always fall in like one step behind, whether it be by a fight or if I train enough, So that first journey, that is one of the difficulty in the journey. And now that on the national team and I got older and I finished school and stuff, like I say, working on boxing is very hard, where you have to support yourself financially. And as well go to work. You have to find time for work and find time for the sport, because to be a great boxer, you have to at least 100 hours or 80 hours for the week you have to put in. So if you don't put in that
Wow.
time, you won't become a great athlete. So it's getting that time to work and box. That is one of the hardest things I face. Well, facing currently.
Absolutely, and that makes a lot of sense, man.
Yeah.
So then, what is a typical training day like for you then?
Well, a typical training day starts early in the morning, around 5, sometimes 6 o'clock in the morning, where there will be a run, if not a run, where I do a a cardio session where it would involve
Hmm.
running, with like sprints and stuff like that. Just for about an hour, a short training session, but more for endurance and for explosiveness. And then we say if it's closer to competition, sometimes we might train 3 times a day. There's midday training where we do strength, and then in the evening is where we actually go and develop the boxing part of it, where we'll spend like 2 to 3 hours just training the basics, and not just the basics, but improving on the areas where you might lack. So yeah.
Got you, got you. So, all right. So that you really spoke about the mental, the sorry, the physical training. But what about the mental training? Because I know a lot of sports at that high level
Yeah,
is really about the mental and
true.
whether you are mentally prepared. So how do you get yourself mentally in the zone before a fight?
Well, it's about routine. So
Okay.
when you now start a box or when lie, no matter at what level you reach, because right now I'm at, I would say, competing at one of the highest levels. So it's
Hmm.
about finding a routine that suits you. So before I fight, I listen to like music, or if not music, the routine where you do while you train is what you would want to use before a fight, because you wouldn't want to go in a fight and then try a different routine then and there. It would, it could cause a bad outcome. So we try to stick as close to the routine, like how we warm up and how we stretch and stuff before we train into the fight.
Got you. Got you.
Mm.
Okay, now you have prepared for the fight. Everything has gone to plan.
Yeah,
You into the ring now, right? And this guy is coming at you. You know, this guy is ready to put some blows on you.
yeah.
How what goes through a boxer's mind when he's actually in the ring?
Well, for me, when I actually go into the ring, to be honest, like I said, I'd be super nervous, because in amateur boxing, it doesn't really know the opponent you're going up to, like going up against. When close to the fight, or even the day of the fight, that is when you just find out which country or the person you're going to fight. So sometimes you can get a hard fight or an easy fight, depending on the person you're fighting. You really never know. So it's a random thing. So it has be extra nervous when I in the ring. I just be extra nervous. But from the time the bell ring, and it'll just be like you enter in a different zone, a different reality, and all the nervousness just go from your mind, and it'll just be you focusing, and I don't want to say surviving, but executing what you had trained for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you're putting into practice
Yeah,
all the work that you would have done behind the scenes, the work that people didn't see,
yeah, yeah.
for sure.
Yes, man.
So during those critical moments of a fight, right? You told me that you do feel
Mm.
nervous at times, but I've always wondered uh whether a boxer must hate his opponent in order to survive or to defeat him in the ring. What would you say about that?
Well, for me, it's not that I hate my opponent, but it's a competition, and who doesn't want to win a competition? But most times, like I've spoken to other athletes in the same sport, boxers from different countries as well. Well, like I say, it is a contact sport, so some other athletes does, like I say, listen to music, and in the routine, like I say, it's not that they hate the person, but because they want to win, and at such levels at that level of the competition, and you're nervous and stuff like that. Sometimes you does have to put it in your mind that, yo, I had to hurt this person in order to win. But like I say, it's not that you hate the person, because it's still sports, and you have to show a certain level of sportsmanship.
Absolutely. So it's pure business. It's not
It's business.
anything
Yes.
outside of that. It's just business.
Yeah, just business.
Got you. Got you. All right, bro. So I'm liking where this interview is going.
Right.
We'll take a break here and go into one of my favorite segments called the quick hitters. So these are rapid fire questions. Answer as soon as, well, as quickly as you can. We
Right.
usually say, we tell people in a minute or less to give these answers. I think generally you answer in a minute or less. But
Sure.
let's see how you do with those quick hitter questions that I throw at you.
Okay, cool, no
So
problem.
first quick hitter question: who's your dream opponent in the ring?
My dream opponent, like I say, is we as amateur boxers, we don't really get to know the opponent you're fighting, but I, people that I would like to actually work with, I would say there's a light heavy weight fighter in my category, but he's from Brazil. I would like to work with him, and also France. His name is Julio Caesar. Bad, but I would like
Wow,
to work with him.
interesting.
He's good. He's good.
Okay, got you. What music do you listen to when you're getting ready for a fight? That's the second quick hitter question.
Uh, well, it depends because sometimes I would listen to rap. It depends on the mood I am. But just a little bit about me again. I go to church. I'm a church boy. So sometimes I will listen to gospel to China, just kind of get my nerves down before the fight.
Hmm.
So it's between rap or gospel.
Interesting, interesting. So it depends on, I guess, it depends on your mood. Whether
Yeah.
you want to be hyped up or calm down.
Yeah, so if I a little extra nervous, the gospel let's kind of bring the gospel let's kind of bring the nervousness down, and
Hmm.
like for the rap, there's more as help with the confidence and the kind of setting the
Right,
mind frame aware how to be aggressive and to execute any fight at that time.
got you, got you.
Mm.
Final quick hitter question: who would you like to see on this podcast?
Who would I? Well, in Trinidad right now, I could speak on other athletes, but I would like to see more boxers in Trinidad and Tobago on this podcast, man. Getting the opportunity like me. Very grateful for the opportunity to be here on this podcast. I'd like to see other young and upcoming boxers as well on this podcast, man.
For sure. For sure. And like I always tell my guests, listen, if you have the contact, I can make it happen. So once you send the contacts to me, I will do my best to make it happen.
Well, yeah,
All
for
right?
sure. I would keep in contact with Nakisha and the Nova team, and they could keep in contact with you as well, where I could,
For sure.
send the contact information from somebody at least, man.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Let's move on to other questions in this interview, the back end of the interview.
Yeah,
A young person is looking at you and dreams of being just like you. They're
mm,
interested in not necessarily getting into boxing, but they want to pursue their dreams like you pursued your dreams.
yeah.
What advice would you give to a young person like that?
Well, to be just like me, I wouldn't say anyone could be just like you, but to be similar, I could say it's just to be dedicated and consistent. But anything you choose to do in this life, you have to have a certain level of dedication and consistency in order to make it far in this life. So for me, like I could only stick to boxing, like and talk about boxing. So for me, it had plenty ups and downs, but staying consistent and disciplined was what have me here right now. So there's nothing really specific that I could literally tell somebody to do exactly what, but because my journey and someone else's journey might be different, but it's consistency and discipline.
Beautiful. I like that a lot, man. And that is true across disciplines, like you said. It's not just about boxing. Anything that you want to achieve in life, you would need consistency and discipline. And yes, any young person listening to this podcast will know that that is paramount and that is absolutely necessary for you to survive and for you to thrive in whatever field you are in. So I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
what is next for Jeremiah Thomas? What are some of the competitions and professional aspirations that you want to participate in, that you want to have as part of your career in the near future? We're not just talking long term. I know, obviously, the massive games like the Olympics and these games would be a prize for you. But what is immediately next? What is in your immediate future?
Well, in the immediate, I would say there's a lot of competitions that I have in the Olympic cycle. Competitions
Okay,
like Pan Am Games, CAC Games,
right.
Continental Games, Caribbean Games.
Hmm.
One of the minor tournaments, which is Caribbean Games, recently got gold at that, and at OACS, got gold at OACS as well. Um,
Right.
these competitions is like a build up for World Games and Olympics. Those are the two major competitions that I have concerning for boxing. And if you want to go to Olympics or worlds in boxing, these are the competitions that you'll need in order to see where you're at, where you need to grow.
Hmm.
So participating in these tournaments for me, and actually not just participating, but going out there and performing my best, and hopefully bringing back a medal, hopefully gold. But yeah, those are the steps that I would say in the near future for me.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I watched you at the OACS Invitational, and you looked really good. I can tell you that. You, I watched. Well, I watched the fight on, when was it? Was it the Sunday night or the Saturday night?
This Saturday night,
And
right?
you looked really good, man. And for sure, I hope that you. Well, I know that you stay dedicated. I'm not worried
Right.
about your dedication. What I do hope is that you stay healthy, because I know, like you said, this is a contact sport. Things do
Mm,
happen. But
true.
I do hope that you stay healthy and continue pushing on in that regard, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
For for sure, for sure. All right, bro. Every athlete wants to achieve certain things when their career is at its end.
Mm.
What would your legacy be, or what would you like your legacy to be when it's all said and done?
Well, in Trinidad and Tobago, there are certain medals that wasn't brought home in the sport,
Hmm.
and I would like to be the first to to do it and actually get myself down in history, like my my brethren, good friend Nigel Paul. He was the first athlete in the Caribbean to bring home a world bronze medal in the Caribbean and for Trinidad and Tobago. So it's for me to follow in his footsteps and do much better by actually going for gold or silver and actually medaling or winning a fight at the Olympics. So it's for
Absolutely,
history.
absolutely. So you want to be a history maker
A
in that
history.
regard?
Yes, man.
For sure, for sure. So okay, but I know that there's a process, and you would need some support, not just from your family, your immediate family, but wider than your family, in terms of
True.
governmental support. As an athlete, I want you to speak and tell us, what does the Caribbean need so that we can advance the sport that you're in, or sports in general?
Well, back in the day, it used to have plenty boxing, like plenty boxing. Well, I could speak for Trinidad. I can't really speak for the Caribbean much. And as time progresses forward, I started to see many great athletes. I would even say some of the athletes was better than me in the sport, and they leave because of life, when they're facing certain things. And
Right.
just having that, one of the major reasons for that is finances. So just having that financial support as an athlete, and not just financial as well, but our mental support, because of the day and age we're living in, that would be a great push forward for the athletes in Trinidad and Tobago, and I would say in some of the Caribbean countries as well. just that financial support and even and that mental support as well, because boxing is just not a contact sport, it's a mental sport, it's a game of chess. So having that mental and financial support will be a great big boost for boxing in the Caribbean and in Trinidad and Tobago.
Beautiful, beautiful. And yes, I would agree with that 100%, bro. It's very important that the powers that be listen and give the athletes what they need, because ultimately it is you guys who bear a lot of the burden, whether it be
True.
actual hits in the ring, or
Yeah,
whether
true.
it be the time that you take to train and all of those things. It's a passion, and everybody would want to jump on your bandwagon if you win a gold medal. But
True.
we all know that it's a process to get there, and it's very
True.
important that they support you in that regard. So yeah,
True.
I am with you on that, and hopefully platforms like these can help them understand, because the athletes themselves are speaking on here. Hopefully platforms like these can help them understand that, hey, we need to do better. There's so much more that we need to do, so that these amazing young people can achieve their goals and aspirations, and also inspire young people in the country as well, because athletes, the beautiful thing about sports in general is that even if the people watching sports are not athletes themselves, they can be inspired by sports people, because they are seeing these individuals on TV all the time. They can interact with them on social media, all kind of things in that
Mm.
regard. So yes, bro, I am with you 100%, and I hope that the powers that be do listen to what you say and support you in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Again, I really appreciate being here on your podcast, as well as for the Nova team for putting all this together as well. Because without them, my career might still be a little stagnant. So I just thanks for the like I say, for being here. Thanks to you. Thanks for the Nova team as well, and for TTOC, because at TTOC many of these competitions I could have participated in. So just thanks to you guys and everything, man.
No problem, bro. No problem, bro. And we will continue to be here to support you. I want to thank you for coming on to this podcast. Thank you for this amazing conversation. You know, it it always surprises me how quickly these conversations go. They often say that time flies when you're having fun, and this was indeed fun. And to thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming to share your story, and I hope somebody's inspired by you.
Yes, man. Again,
For
thanks
sure.
for everything, man.
No problem. All
Mm.
right, guys, this has been yet another episode of the Game Changers podcast. I want to invite you to remember to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to this via an audio streaming platform, remember to download the episode, right? You listen to it on the go. Maybe you missed some things that Jeremiah would have said. Maybe you want to save it for later to share it with your friends. Download the episode, and it really helps our channel, but not just helps our channel, it helps you so that you can listen wherever you go. Anyhow, this has been yet another journey, and yet another conversation, and as usual, stay hungry, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.